is this thing streaming? We gotta ask why. Okay, there you go. I don't know why it didn't cut on last time. That was really weird. Alright, fuck it, we good.
Alright, so we gotta pick up this conversation again because it's on high demand. You know, we come in with what we want to talk about, but the people said, man, that conversation was so invigorating. They're like, we need some more of that conversation.
Sure.
Perspectives. Because, you know, really doesn't come into the battlefield without that Bible. He always got a verse. So,
at least 50%.
So, if you don't mind, my brother, I'll pick it back up and we can work our way into the other conversations. Just let me know.
Perfect. Just real quick, you can look at Habakkuk 2 and 4 for me real quick. When we say the white man is the devil, there's a reason for that. So I want to explain it from a biblical perspective first off, then I'm going to get off into some science first. And be able to show that you can't be half devil, all right? We're going to explain it from the perspective of this paradigm. So go ahead.
Book of Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him.
So if y'all heard that, it says the soul of the white man that's lifted up in him is not upright. It's his soul or his spirit that is corrupt. That's what makes him the devil. His flesh and his physical mutations are merely an effect of the corrupt spirit that's within him that goes back to his forefather Cain. When Cain committed the first murder on the planet Earth and slew his brother Abel, he was given a mark. The mark that he was given was the total depletion of his melanin. All right, he was made the first white man on the planet Earth. That spirit was reborn to a man named Esau, who were generated in Edomites who were the so-called Caucasian today. All right, now the thing about all of that is, what made him white was his spirit. He started out a black man, just as we know, a white man is a mutation of a black man. If he is anything else outside of that, that makes him an original person, period. So he has to be a mutated, deformed version of a black man in order to even exist, unless you're going to call him an original person. So with that being said, the Bible says a false balance is an abomination. So what happens is, that wicked spirit that dwelled within him began to show itself outwardly, and that's what led to all the genetic defects that the man is born with. All right, but it starts with his spirit. The spirit, as it said, that's lifted up in him is not upright. All right, how do we merge that into science? When you study behavioral science and you study behavioral genetics, you will find that your behavioral traits you inherit from your father. Now, does that mean that when you grow up, you can't start acting like your mother? Of course you can. Why? Because it's something called nature versus nurture. You, through observing somebody and being in an environment where somebody can begin to take on the traits of that person. Or physically, when you have a father or mother, of course, you're liable to look like either of your parents. Both of them, more like one, influence one, and not like the other one. That's genetics. That's random. But as far as behaviorally, inherently, you inherit your behavioral traits from your father. So if your father is a white man, then you are going to inherit the corrupted spirit of the white man, thus making you a devil. A primary example of this in history would be the Haitian Revolution. Like I said, my father's descendancy goes back to Haiti. When you take a look at the Haitian Revolution, you have mulatto Haitians, you have black Haitians, and they joined up. The mulatto Haitians were not mulatto like they had black fathers or white mothers, but predominantly mulatto Haitians were white fathers, slave masters, and black mothers. All right, so when you examine what happened in that history, they joined up, were able to drive the Frenchmen off that island. But as soon as the Frenchman left the island, the half-white people who were products of the French slave masters instantly became white people, instantly started planting satanic ears in brothers' ears, pitting brothers against each other, ripped the island in half, and enslaved other black and indigenous people. That's what they did, showing you that they were direct byproducts of their white slave master fathers. So they are, though have black mothers, 100% devils. Even if we look in the Bible, during the time of who the world calls Christ, Yahweh Shah, you had a man named King Herod that the Jews rejected. Why? Because his father was an Edomite, but his mother was a Jew, or she was of the tribe of Levi more specifically. So that's an understanding that we always have, and it's backed by science. You see what I'm saying? And even things like post-traumatic stress are passed down from individuals to their descendants through semen exclusively. These are all scientific studies that brothers can go look up and look into. You know, it's all scientifically verifiable. We like to take the information that's in the scriptures and show that our ancestors who wrote these scriptures as inspired by God were familiar with certain aspects of science as well. So I am not half devil because I am from the seed line of a black man. You see what I'm saying? So just like the way they did the experiment is they took mice and they put certain mice through countless traumatic experiences in mazes and things like that, right? Then they mated them and they had kids. When they put the kids in the same maze, they saw the fright and the fear that these kids have just approaching the things that their parents seen. But that was only passed down from father to child. You see what I'm saying? So this is what we said when we meet the white man as the devil, and this is why though you can have a mother who may be the devil, you are not the devil because you inherit your behavior, not the devil's behavior, but you inherit your behavior from your father. Now, growing up, can you maybe take on certain things? But that's for any of us. We take a look at how our people have become from living up under the white man. We become very evil towards one another and very devilish towards one another. I know you and the brother Star were discussing, is the black man the original devil and or the true devil? Last month sometime, me and this brother was checking that out not too long ago. You see what I'm saying? But what I believe is, of course, there was wicked people amongst us, but the white man is the archetype of wickedness. He has taken wickedness and brought it to new heights. So through his oppression and putting his ways upon us, we have began to take on those same ways, be it mixed or not mixed or whatever. We all have been pretty evil and wicked towards each other from learning, from observing from our slave masters.
Basketball. All right. So I'm bringing all this in. I'm taking this all in. I'm absorbing. First thing, did your father sleep with white women?
Does my father or did he?
Did he?
Yes, sir.
Did he make children with white women?
Yes, sir. Made 4 children with white women.
Different white women or same white women?
4 children with 2 different white women.
So, behavioral science says that you are more likely inclined to take in the same nature as your father,
yes,
not your mother.
Yes, sir.
So you are more likely or inclined to sleep with white women.
I don't sleep with white women, so
From your father.
What I mean is the innate nature that you have. Your innate nature might not be the preferential as far as women. Your innate nature is, certain things you do. For example, when I was a kid and I used to go to get a ride to school to get some lunch money from school, my pop used to just wake up and sit on the edge of the bed, just stuck for 15 minutes before anything can be done. I now grew up to do the same exact thing. I don't like doing it. It's just how I am. You see what I'm saying? But to that point as well, let's say I may have been inclined to white women, but that's where the nature versus nurture thing comes in. Because growing up and being raised by my mother and seeing my mother, not so even so much being raised by my mother, but just seeing my mother, looking at my mother and how she was, to me, I wanted everything opposite of how she was. You see what I'm saying? So that drove me to black women indefinitely, even if I was going to be inclined to white women.
So behavioral science has been overridden when it comes to the white mother that you have. Now this DNA is being overridden, or you get the nations to be likened to your father, which is where you get your nature from, is being overridden on account of your experience with your mother.
No, you inherit certain things and then you acquire certain things. You see what I'm saying? So I inherited certain things, of course, a certain nature, but then over the course of time, us as individuals, based upon our experience and how we take it, we acquire certain things. You see what I'm saying? So I won't necessarily say I would have inherited the like of white women because at the same time, my grandfather was a black woman. You know what I'm saying? And so on and so forth. So I wouldn't say as far as that goes because of that. That, of course, is based on experience. Some people grow up in the hood around nothing but black women and they go and run to the bird store white women, they ain't even seen one before. You see what I'm saying? Then, that's kind of just based on experience, I would say.
No problem. So now, here we are. You are of the tribe of Israel, one of the 12 tribes, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The Levite tribe, the priestly tribe.
Now, your mother is a white woman, which makes your mother a devil, right?
Indefinitely.
Indefinitely.
Yes, sir.
I don't understand. Is your mother the devil or she's not the devil?
She is the devil.
Okay, just making sure. Okay, just wanted to make sure. So your mother is the devil because she's white.
Yeah, she's the devil because of the men that she descends from.
Okay, so your mother's the devil. And you are of the tribe of Israel. The Most High's children.
Yes, sir.
The Most High allows you, a child, kids, to come into planet Earth through the womb of a devil. Am I correct so far?
Yes, sir.
So now, here's the point, Aaron. Why is God allowing His chosen children to come out of the devil, to come here to teach lost black people who and what they are?
For a powerful reason, and that.
Do we not see the irony in the chosen children of God being brought into this planet by way of the devil? In this particular case, your mother.
Yes, sir. For a powerful reason, and that powerful reason is going to be one of the reasons, one of the things, it's going to segue into one of the things we're going to discuss. One of the things that, for those of y'all that don't know, me and this brother was going to discuss is dealing with, moving out of the hood, going to moving amongst white people versus living amongst black people. How that all plays in is the fact that I'm not going to call myself an expert and an authority in too many things, but I'm definitely an authority in living and being around white people. Being that my mother's white and I have lived in the hood and I've lived in the burbs, so I consider myself an expert on that situation. You see what I'm saying? So certain of the Lord's people are scattered in all nations amongst all people. So you're going to have them coming out of different people in order to reach those same people. Matter of fact, give me 1 Timothy 1 real quick. Is that 1 Timothy 1 I want? Or is it 1 Timothy 2 I want? 1 Timothy 2 started at 12 verse. That's what I want. An example, and then if you got a precept. There's a purpose for that. You see what I'm saying? During the time of a man named Ezra in the Bible, you had a time where you had so many Israelite men, and they were taking on women of other nations, okay, of all denominations, be it white women, Asian women, women of various African tribes that we were at odds with, and things of that nature. In doing so, they were allowing these children to be raised in the ways of their mother, right? That's how they was allowing their children to be raised. Because of that, there was a great expulsion of those women, including those children at that time that those men made an oath to do. That oath was not necessarily an oath that was required by law of God to make, but that was an oath that they made at that time for whatever they saw was a means to that end. The Bible tells us in Ecclesiastes, which I believe you roughly mentioned, there's a time to be born and there's a time to die. There's a time to kill and there's a time to heal, etc., etc. That's Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. It also says there's a time to cast out and there's a time to gather. So there were many Israelites that were cast out, and they were cast out into all these nations. In getting cast out to these nations, they mingled with the women of these various other nations. You understand what I'm saying? So in doing so, when it calls time to be gathered, you have to start gathering. So certain men who come from a certain background is going to be raised up to do what? Raise other men up from that same background to bring them back into the fold. Because you have some brothers like, let's take, for example, Colin Kaepernick, right? Colin Kaepernick has a white mother, grew up in suburbia. People are showing the pictures, oh, this nigga's pro-black. Look at this great home he grew up in and all this great white family. But sometimes it takes a brother like that to stand up, to be an example for brothers who come from that same background and walk of life. Because you are still inherently a brother. You see what I'm saying? The same way you can plant seeds in soil that's not so fertile and a tree can still spring up, it's the same principle in dealing with the children of Israel being brought through the wombs of other people, including Esau, which is the devil in Aaron. You understand what I'm saying?
I was trying.
An example, real quick. Yeah, go ahead.
1 Peter 5:3. It says, neither as being lords over God's heritage, being examples.
Being example, that's not what I wanted, but that's fine. Go ahead.
To the flock.
Being an example to the flock. So we have to serve as an example to the flock. So not just am I an example to a brother who can be mixed through the other backgrounds that I have. For example, my gang background. I'm also an example to the gang members. You see what I'm saying? I did this, or I came from this, or I was raised, or I was born through this evil white woman who did this and that evil, you see what I'm saying? But I still was able to turn from that and persevere all of that and turn to righteousness and follow Torah. You see what I'm saying? I was able to stop gangbanging and stop selling dope to follow Torah. You see what I'm saying? So basically all these things happen for the Most High purpose and to call brothers who are stuck in various aspects of life out of that and bring them out of those trenches. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. What are the laws under evil doctrine for a child of God to be breastfed by the devil? I'm so serious about this. If your mother's the devil, is the child of God on account of the fact your father would be evil?
Yes, sir.
are you allowed to still suck from the breast of the devil? Or do you get a different source of sustenance?
Well, you can still suck from the breast of the devil, and I'll explain why. Because like we read in the beginning, Habakkuk 2 and 4. Her physical is not what makes her the devil. It's the spirit that makes them the devil. You understand what I'm saying? So that isn't a devilish breast. You understand what I'm saying? The entity that's driving her, the spirit that's within her, is what the devil is. You understand what I'm saying?
So her physical doesn't necessarily make her the devil.
Boy, Nike is fresh.
Blue eyes, blonde hair, that which we want to be possessive trait.
Yes, sir.
That isn't run concurrent with that which is synonymous with.
Like I stated in the beginning, it does run concurrent, but that's not what makes them the devil. I.e., one of the judgments white people will come against us with is, oh, you guys are talking about his skin color. No. Y'all made it about skin color. We're not making it about skin color. Martin Luther King said something, right? We all know it. It's not about the color of his skin, but the content of his character. It just so happened that the content of the character of the people who are his skin color happen to be one way. But it's not a result of their skin color. Their skin color is rather a byproduct of their evil spirit, which I referenced in dealing with Cain. You understand what I'm saying?
That's a fact. That's a fact. So now, here's the $1 million question. At what point do you realize you're part of an organization that's allowing you to call your mother the devil? Because, hold on, the Bible also tells us to honor thy mother and honor thy father. The Bible tells us to honor thy mother and honor thy father. You turn around, you learn how to move, you learn how to talk, you suckle from that woman's breast to become who you are today, you turn around and call her the devil. How does that work? Is that not a form of
It's not, and I'm going to show you why. Give me that in the book of Deuteronomy, the 33rd chapter, real quick.
We know that calling your mother the devil is completely faming her. How is that honoring your mother? Because to honor your mother, how will you honor your mother by publicly identifying her as a devil? How does that work?
I'm going to show you right now. What is that, about 9? Right there, boom.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33, verse 9. Who said unto his father and to his mother, I have not seen him. Neither did he acknowledge his brother.
What does that mean in that context? To his father and to his brother, it says to the priest said to their father and their mother, I have not seen them. Meaning, you are not supposed to respect persons in judgment. Meaning, regardless of the relationship you have with any individual, regardless of the love or affinity you may have to any individual, if they're wrong, they're wrong. If they're guilty of a crime, they're guilty of a crime. If they're a murderer, you're a damn murderer. That doesn't mean you don't love that murderer, but you just gotta call a spade a spade. Go ahead.
Your mother was wrong just for being alive?
Well, white people inherently are wrong. So I was...
It's wrong, but she gave birth to you.
Of course.
See, you're one right thing she did, she gave birth to you.
See, just because somebody is inherently the devil, it doesn't mean every single thing they do is necessarily wrong or detrimental to the world. You see what I'm saying?
You are the exception to the rule.
I'm not an exception to the rule. Like I said, everything a so-called white person does may not be wrong. If a white man gives you $5, is that wrong? You see what I'm saying? No. But that doesn't make up for the great crime that their race has committed. This is the thing. I'm not going to allow, as a responsible man, as a man who is compassionate and cares about my people, I'm not going to allow the fact that there's a white woman that gave birth to me who I love, acquit her or make her be the exception for the greater populace of how I feel about her whole race. You see what I'm saying? Because it's true. Allow me to. And even before I came into the paradigm, I had this viewpoint. It's going to...
Hey, pull light real quick.
What's up, King?
Hey, this is Captain Tazama.
There again, brother.
Tazama.
Peace, King. What's up?
When the so-called white man kidnapped us from the western shores of Africa, and he brought us over here to the so-called Americas, right?
Yes, sir.
If an intruder came into the plantation and tried to kill one of the slaves, and the slave master came in and, let's say, rescued that slave from the intruder, does he now become a hero, and does that negate the fact that they still kidnapped us from the western shores of Africa?
He's a hero to that individual, and it does not negate the fact that they kidnapped us from the western.
So, and I would agree. So the fact that this brother's mother bore him through her womb does not negate the fact of what her lineage or her ancestry did to our people and what the punishment they have coming. That's simple and that's plain. You guys are kind of focusing on something like, go ahead.
What's not simple and plain is I need to know when we can turn the laws off, the rules and the regulations. So the rules say honor thy mother, thy father, and then now we come with the exception to the rules. Well, I can't honor my mother up until the point where she's the devil when she gave birth to me.
But how's that not honoring her?
See, again, like I said, calling a spade is not dishonoring. When you take a look at that word,
It's dishonoring.
well, that's opinion. You see what I'm saying? That's your own personal opinion. Like you said, I have a frame of reference. When my mom was a drug addict, was I wrong if I called my mom a drug addict? Was that dishonoring her, or was that just being truthful? See, that's the problem with our people.
I still would probably, when they go in the public and say, my mother's a drug addict, I might say it for some humility and try to
See, what I would call that though is sugarcoat. You understand? Now,
hold on. People don't need to know.
Yeah, them definitely
conniving. We can keep that in the private.
See, but
I'm not saying hide the facts. I'm not saying hide the facts.
See, but
when I'm talking about honor, I'm talking about having a certain level of voice and knowing what it suffices to convey information to other people in a manner in which you convey it. For a man to be brought into this world by a woman, and see him turn around and say, well, she's dead. Okay, that's dishonor. Because we all know how that resonates with us. And would I be wrong if I wish death to the white person?
of course not.
So, would I be wrong if I wish death to your mother?
No.
Why is
So, would I be wrong if I kill your mother?
oh, because it's pen, it's just gonna keep saying it. Oh, Team Shannon, we started.
You have to allow me to elaborate now, because here's the thing. Here's the problem with our people as a whole: emotions. Everybody is relying upon emotions, and the reason, you know why we rely upon emotions? Because the black woman is God. That's why we rely upon emotions. Because listen. Because this is your logic. We're talking about the white woman, but we're utilizing and employing your logic here. You see what I'm saying? The emotions that are within our people allow our people to corrupt and pervert judgment, which is exactly contrast to the Torah. Which is exactly why we need the Torah. Because we need to stop sugarcoating. We need to stop calling spades spades, and we need to stop practicing nepotism amongst our people. When somebody's wrong, they're wrong. You in LA right now. I'm down the freeway in San Diego, right? Something that I'm familiar with is the gang culture in LA. I got brothers in the room, gang banging in LA, that's in this room right now. Now, I'm going to ask this brother right now, OG. Now, let me ask you something. What has torn apart these hoods and these gangs and taken them away from what they were supposed to be as a community protection unit? What are some of the things? Would you say that nepotism or respected persons was one of those things? Drugs, right? Now here's the thing about drugs. When we started selling drugs, going back to the 80s, when I say we, I'm talking about the gangs, we were supposed to distribute drugs to people and not do the drugs. But we would be distributing drugs to our homies, moms, girlfriends, dads, and then we would start doing drugs. And nobody disciplined anybody for it. So now what's happened? It's spun out of control. Now the Bloods kill each other. Now the Crips kill each other. Now that's all that goes on. Why? Because emotions and respected persons got in the way with handling business and taking care and disciplining people properly. That is a perfect example of why we need the laws of God. Because the laws of God being employed and totally negating respected persons and saying, no, you wrong, and you have to get the punishment that you deserve for being wrong. Whether it be just a simple disciplinary action or whether it even be death. When we come into that strictness and that discipline and we leave our emotions off the table, that's when we begin to grow as a people. But the more and more that we want to respect people's person because of the relationship that we have with that individual, the more and more we're going to slide down the slippery slope down into the pits of hell. Go ahead.
That if you see a brother transgress and you see him, you should be.
That's Deuteronomy 13. It said in the Hebrew culture in the ancient times, if you saw a Hebrew Israelite that was going to practice the ways of another God, you were supposed to lay your hand on that individual first. Because in him doing that, he's bringing in a system contrary to the perfect system that God gave us and allowing things like this, allowing drug addicts. If we kept the Torah, there wouldn't be no drug addicts. It wouldn't happen because the Bible labels that as sorcery. But because we don't, we deal drugs, we do drugs, we go crazy, nothing happens, and now we're in this position now where you can't even trust your own homies in your own hood. And that's a cold game. They bringing the poison in. Everybody doing Sherman acting like that's cool. It's cool to smoke Sherman. I got big homies, they smoking Sherman like it's a damn Newport, and they can't smoke a Newport cigarette without Sherman. You see what I'm saying? And then they introducing young homies into it. That's 15, 16 years old. And by the time they 19 years old, they goddamn brain dead. You know why? Because that's the OG homie. You can't say nothing to him. He done did this and that. Or that's such and such his little brother. I know he's a snitch, but that's such and such his little brother. So ain't nobody finna touch my little brother. And when that occurs, the hood is destroyed, period. So just on that level, something that we created as a result of not having nothing, is destroyed because of lack of structure and lack of strict disciplinary rules. That's something that the Torah gives. Go ahead, King.
It's gonna end it right here. Book of Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 6. If thy brother, the son of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or thy wife of thy bosom, or thy friend,
Read about it.
which is in thine own soul, entice thee secretly, saying, let us go and serve other gods, which thou hast not known, thou nor thy fathers,
Speak about it.
namely the gods of the people which are round about you, nigh unto thee or far from thee, from the one end of the earth even to the other end of the earth. Thou shalt not consent unto him, nor hearken unto him, neither shalt thou eye pity him.
Don't pity this individual.
That's right.
They wrong.
That's right.
They wrong. Go ahead.
Neither shalt thou spare, neither shalt thou conceal him, but thou shalt surely kill him.
Thou shalt surely kill him. That's what the scriptures say. So this is where we get our strictness and disciplinary. Now somebody's personal opinions and feelings may differ from that. But because I've dedicated myself to this and I personally believe that this type of strictness and discipline is exactly what we need, this is what I'm going to adhere to. You understand what I'm saying? So as far as my mother goes, I call her anything that is that's wrong, I'm going to say that, oh, she just died. Damn. You got that cord for me? Yeah, I need a cord, sir.
How many more threes I need? Shit.
Okay. That's so funny.
Okay.
I would tell you.
Hey,
His mama. That was the next question, but we'll find out. Stay tuned, y'all, for that answer.
14. So
What's up, y'all?
3 more.
I can't talk right now. I'm in tears. What's up, brother?
Yeah, I see. Hey, we got Manny Joe right here, man.
Yo, can you get visual?
Just go ahead and click that real quick. Man, God, you're on the road, man.
Yeah, give us a visual, even if it's dark. Put the light on.
Yeah, shit.
Alright, that's come now.
Yeah, you know it, man.
I'm gonna run squad up.
Need 2 more.
Hiding behind that logo. Come on, Mike. Stop hiding behind that logo. We calling this game out.
Why we call me out here to get
Why don't we just say it? I'll kill this. I say, yo.
I'm trying to say I'm boys and girls. I'm trying to drive and do this YouTube thing at the same time.
That's what's fun, man. Hey, yo, man. Hear that conversation?
Yeah, what they talking about? What they beating on?
Uh-oh. I found some fuck shit. This channel been going ham with the content.
Hey y'all, hey, so I want to address Miss Virginia. Miss Virginia, I need you to know something. I am not coming for you as you put in my comments, and you had to go make a live about it. Like I said,
you say something
I'm
bad,
going to do my commentary on what I want to do. This is my reaction. My reaction. And for you to come say,
she kind of sound like Mississippi Mustard.
Unspoken purpose? No, I do not. Unspoken purpose? I do not have anything against you. Just because I did my reaction, Miss Virginia, that false statement you made,
But you know she a flip-flopper.
So, Miss Virginia, if you say something that I don't like and what I think that is logical in my opinion, I'm going to say it, regardless if you like it or not. So, Miss Virginia, please keep my name out your mouth.
Now here's Bryant. Walker with the screen for Bryant. They get it again. Walker the pass to O'Neal. The three from Bryant. Bodavenko with the rebound. And gotta be honest here, I mean, he should have made that.
The catfish videos are funny face with tears of joy.
It's more than one?
Alright, here we go.
I see something about Boylan getting arrested
That
for
nigga
witness
gave me about the
tampering.
case was speaking
Not really, but I'm finna listen and see. Academics to tell me what's going on.
Whole time I'm thinking, I'm like, nigga, you gotta speak this cryptic. You should probably not be talking about this case, okay? You should probably not be talking about this. Alright, anyway, breaking news, people. Wyandotte in Portland has been arrested for witness tampering, according to Bryson Paul. He's a journalist. I forgot what outlet he works for, but Portland's been arrested at his home after a raid by law enforcement on Monday. By the way, this is the second time he's gotten arrested. He got arrested one time before after he got granted bail, and apparently he broke the terms of his bail conditions because he went out and went to the club at a time that wasn't approved
one more
by
three
any
to
authority.
complete
And
this
he was allowed
challenge.
to go out to work. He just had to let people know when he was working. Apparently, he went out to a club and he was having fun. That's what they were claiming. And he later tried to contest, no, I wasn't at the strip club having fun. I was working. However, his, the person who was monitoring his supervised release was saying, well, why did
I don't know what you're talking about. I thought you were talking about the person I was
the whole
just
thing.
playing.
Eventually, he did get back out. And now I'm guessing he's been arrested again, but this time it's for witness tampering, which is charges. His home was raided by law enforcement on Monday evening in Miami, and his real name is Cortland Henry, but he was booked into the Miami-Dade County on an out-of-county warrant today at 10:22. He was originally slated to begin his trial today, but it was rescheduled to January 12th last week. He, who is the co-defendant of Wayne Melly, has been out on bond on a ankle monitor since August 2021. This is a picture of him.
Yeah, so that wasn't Melly, that was Portland.
Picture of him being taken to custody, and this is the information. So, he was booked at Miami-Dade County today. It looked like it says, was this 10:22 p.m. For an out-of-county warrant, and I'm guessing that's what it is now. Let's have like a qualitative conversation of what could this be. If he's booked on witness tampering, most likely it would probably be with
out-of-county
most likely witnesses in either case with either his or Wyandotte.
Oh.
I've always thought that, that mom,
it's
that mom that's taking a stand, her and her daughter.
Oh, really?
I think they've been looking to charge somebody. I thought they were looking at Track, honestly. This Track's my guy, too. But I think they were looking at Track to be like, yo, did you pay this person off? Blah, 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 blah. Again, witness tampering could be not only paying off a witness, it could be coaching a witness, it could be speaking to a witness about potential evidence or sequence of events that might happen in court that, you're trying to coach them or elicit a certain outcome, or try to get them to deviate from what they naturally feel or what the truth is. And Cortland Henry, he's one of the remaining free people
Well, he's the only free person that's in this whole case. Really, it's him and Melly. Melly's not getting out until this whole thing is satisfied. And his case is kind of tied to Melly. If Melly beats his case, he's free because you can't have an accessory to murder if your whole case is that he assisted Melly, and if you found Melly not guilty of murder, he's pretty much free, he's scot-free, right? Because if you can't have somebody assist somebody of murder, if you then rule that person who allegedly did the murder did not do the murder, how could he be assisted in something he didn't do? So that's the thing. I really think that it is going to be just people that we know that have been announced as witnesses. And I really think it's the mom. I think it's that mom and that daughter.
What the fuck?
They have probably been ordered to stay away from those people. And you can imagine they probably have wiretaps. Or they're going to be subpoenaed phone records from that mom and the daughter. And if they see anybody who's a defendant or even a lawyer contact them, they're going to want to know what's up. So I don't know if maybe Colin Henry is on the phone talking to that might be potential witnesses. But that's why he is arrested.
Now they testing the shit.
The Broward County prosecutor's office, they looked horrible in that mistrial. You know, obviously there's a few things that went out that made it look like they were biased, like they were trying to elicit a particular verdict by violating one's rights or by intimidating witnesses. Either or would be just horrific. So I do believe that the DA is looking very careful at these witnesses to make sure nobody else is going to be talking to them, offering them anything, or coercing them, given the fact that they are going to be doing a retrial. And also you have to think about it, these with the retrial and with people trying to coerce them, again, they already had a hard time.
Oh, Jordan under 20 and get 3 steals? What the fuck? How am I supposed to do all this?
That's what I believe is going to happen. And
I can win the game. I could probably hit 19 in the first. But damn. 55.
That something that the manager does or assistant does.
They got these impossible ass tasks.
Family member does. You can't be really caught doing certain shit. By the way, it could be witness tampering even if you didn't reach out directly. If you reach out to someone who reached out to them, that's also we're probably going to find out more about this. He's probably going to be arraigned, I would imagine, tomorrow. And we would probably, actually, maybe, I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow. Because it says out of county, which means he could be getting transferred to Broward, right? Because he was locked up in Miami-Dade County.
Oh, this shit buffering everywhere? Or is it just me?
Okay, so he was locked up in Miami-Dade County. He's going to get brought to Broward, then he's going to get arraigned, and probably, I don't know if he's going to get a bond this time, I'll be honest. Because if you give him a bond, hoping that, number one, that he's not going to be a threat to him, which I think that's kind of reasonably accepted. But now, if you feel like he's going to be interfering with the process of trying to get justice and also trying to get other people, or trying to get, Melly's case going on, I don't think they're going to get another bond. But I do think it might happen, right? Verselli, what up, brother? He said, shout out to Shorty, you're a real one. He brought me on stage with him one time. Really?
What the hell is this shit?
Okay.
Shit buffering? Mine is buffering. Well, my shit buffering. Alright. That's weird. Let's see. Let me try this one. Maybe it's buffering.
Coverage of NBA action on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan with Mike Fratello and Clark Kellogg. We've got a great matchup.
I don't know why that sucker is buffering.
Go up against Kobe Bryant and his Los Angeles Lakers. Mike, this should be a fun one.
Well, this is reported by Jordan's last visit to Los Angeles to play the Lakers. I expect either Michael or Kobe to put forth a memorable performance.
And Clark, the Lakers are looking to be as sharp as possible as they gear up for another.
Oh shit, they got Kwame Brown on here.
I mean, Coach Jackson wants this team clicking as the season winds down. Kobe and Shaq
they'll be ready to go, but he wants to see which other players are going to make.
I can't believe this joint is buffering like this.
And so off the tip is Washington.
Well, it's done. See if it kicks back on.
Well, it's a matchup everyone has been dying to see. Kobe Bryant going against Michael Jordan one last time. This is one NBA fans have circled on their calendars.
Now, the starters from Washington. Teron Lue is the former Laker, with Michael Jordan in the midcourt. Terry Stotts will play the three. He's having a great week.